Jacob, you're going to Florida. Who just got up and left there and to your right? Who got up and left?
Oh, that was my mom.
And why did she walk out and leave?
I don't know. I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah, I don't know.
Jacob, we saw her wearing the Alabama sweater there. What were those conversations like with her about where you were going to school?
We had a lot of conversations back and forth about where I should go to school at, but it was like God led me and my gut, and God led me in the direction that my heart desired. So I followed along with it. I couldn't go with my mind. I wanted to go with my heart. So from there on out, God led me on. He told me to pick my decision that I wanted, and that's what I choose.
Jacob, you referenced on Twitter yesterday, I saw the post about how it would have been very emotional. You talked about how you had been crying the night before, agonizing about this decision. Can you just walk us through how you eventually got to this decision and what this process has been like for you?
This process, it been great coming along. We've been recruited for a long time, being a top recruit, top priority for a lot of schools. But knowing that I felt out of all schools, I felt more welcome at home and felt like I could make an impact at the University of Florida. So that's why I felt like that I fit in at and feel like welcome home and being a family. So that's what I like to take my time to.
Landon Collins during his photo shoot, and now Landon Collins is standing by for our American Family Insurance verbal commitment with Dari Noka.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Here with Landon Collins, the #1 safety nationally in the ESPN U150. Who are our two combatants in the national championship game? And are those your two? We know LSU and Alabama. Those are your two, right?
Yes, sir.
I can tell you this, through the world of social networking, your announcement is so highly anticipated, it's unbelievable. First off, how difficult was the decision?
Very difficult. Both teams are just top-notch to me, and I feel at home at both schools.
Now, you are literally from Geismar, Louisiana. Let's see if that plays into things here. LSU.
I'm from New Orleans.
You're from New Orleans. Okay, we'll give you New Orleans. But that's still LSU country. I know that. LSU or Alabama, the #1 safety in the country, Landon Collins, will play his ball where?
It's a tough decision. I got both schools here, but I'm going to go Roll Tide Roll.
Ooh, Alabama gets the #1 safety in the country, Landon Collins. What was it about Alabama?
It's just a bigger decision for me, and I felt home more. And I just love the coaches and the coaching staff and the players that I'm going to be playing with.
Now, might I ask you your reaction? And I'm only doing that because there was not a lot of joy here. Can I ask why?
I feel this LSU is a better place for him to be. LSU Tigers, #1. Go Tigers.
You're making some friends. You're making some friends here at the Trop, no question about it. Alabama, it is. What do you think the hometown, the LSU fans are going to think? We know what one thinks.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Just, I guess you still support me, I guess.
Landon Collins, out of New Orleans. Rolling Tide to Alabama. Guys, I don't need to tell you, this is a big one.
Wow. Well, this is a big one for multiple reasons. One, he's a phenomenal player, but two, it looks like he's going against the wishes of his family here.
What I always say in recruiting, who do you got to identify? The decision maker. So right now, if you're on the coaching staff at LSU, you've got somebody to pinpoint. But if you're Landon Collins, obviously you've thought long and hard about this decision, and it's not been an easy one. #1 and #2 in the land playing against each other on Monday. Wealth of opportunity.
What you to do Biden? How we done lost a damn vote? We done lost a vote. That's gonna go to Trump. God damn!
I'm worshiping these people like they're God.
Ain't nobody worshiping them. But God damn it, Chris, we need somebody in there with sense. He vote independent. fighting. Now there's a fucking vote that we done lost that can fucking go to Trump.
This is why I don't do politics. I will never do this again.
He said he ain't gonna vote again.
College ball. I would take my talent to Gainesville, Florida. Florida Gators.
For Gerald Willis III. Where will you play your college ball?
I would take my talent to Gainesville, Florida. Florida Gators.
Gerald Willis III. Going to the opposite division in the SEC from his brother Landon. He's got the gloves on, ready to go. Your take on this decision, ma'am?
It is what it is. Florida Gators, that's where we'll be.
Any easier this time?
Yeah, but LSU's still number one.
And there you have it. Any easier this time?
Yeah, but LSU's still number one.
And there you have it. Gerald Willis III going to the University of Florida. So a big get there for Will Muschamp. That defense.
On the team after some family drama delayed his signing. Alex Collins coming to Arkansas grabbed attention from sports fans across the country and here at home, but the trouble may not be over just yet. 4029's Josh Taylor is live to tell us how the situation is now a legal issue. Josh?
That's right. While it is true that today Alex Collins did sign his letter of intent to play for the Hogs, it took a long time to get to this point, but this story has now taken yet another turn. Collins' mother, Andrea McDonald, refused to sign the paperwork yesterday on National Signing Day and then reportedly left the South Plantation High School grounds. Now today, Collins signed the paperwork with his father, Johnny. Now the high school athletic director says the NCAA will accept the letter of intent since Johnny is listed as the biological father on Alex's birth certificate. But today, 4029 has learned that McDonald has hired the Cochran law firm of South Florida to represent her, and they released a statement today. The statement says, in part, our client's initial intentions remain unchanged. She is a loving and caring mother who only wants her son to choose a university without any outside and inappropriate influences. Now, the statement also says that McDonald is not seeking any financial gain, but that her only concern is for her son's happiness and well-being. In the meantime, the U of A has received Collins' letter of intent, and they have already announced him as a member of the team. Live tonight, Josh Taylor, 4029 Sports.
As a fan, he looks excited to be coming to Arkansas, so I think that he is happy. Now, the Cochran firm is named for famous lawyer Johnny Cochran, who represented O.J. Simpson during his...
Tonight, I'm going to start at the end of the video probably because I want to make a point. Now, we all know Landon Collins ended up going to the NFL and continuing on that lifestyle and got a bunch of Becky's pregnant and whatnot. And I didn't even know this too, but because I kept thinking like his brother, the same thing happened with his brother. But his brother also made it to the league too, but maybe he's not as big of a star because you don't hear much about him, but his brother actually made it to the league too. So both the sons made it to the NFL. But anyways, when I did this years ago when this first happened, because I went in, I felt like I was ESPN / Fox / everything when I did it. Because it bothered me that I kept reading comments and stuff saying, where his daddy at? Where his daddy at? Well, the hands you see on the outside was his father. And that's something to think about too. It's like, this was his, at that point in time, his 15 minutes of fame. He went on to go to college and win a national championship. And he made the right decision to go to school he went to get that national championship. But then he also made the league and was playing for the Giants for a few years before he got traded out of there. But the whole way the story went was he was living in New Orleans and Katrina happened. His school was ass at football. And then like half the kids left like halfway through the season to go to Texas. Some people went to Cali. That's where everything split up. So he goes to go stay with his dad. And then his dad drives him by the school, the high school that he was going to play with. And the mom, I give her credit for that, which, fair and balanced, she let him go on some Boys in the Hood. But she did it when he was too, she couldn't control him anymore. It was too damn late almost. But she let the son go with the dad and all that other stuff and whatnot, which was cool. I even back then when I did the video, I gave props to her for that. I ain't gonna find that video. That shit was like 8, 9 years old. But it bothered me though because the main point was like they kept saying where's his dad. Now everything to me is like this is standard whenever we voice these concerns about black women disrespecting or emasculating their black sons. Women tend to minimize it and act like it really didn't matter. And I saw that same thing happen with this situation. The comments were, well, at least they made it to college. At least they made it to the NFL. She must have did a good job, or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. They minimize when we point out these are things that as men we think were wrong. And when you examine the situation, and in the fuller video, you see the woman in the red, that's his stepmom. That's his dad over here. When this all happened, and that was his Becky girlfriend right here at the back, that, you know, there was some trouble saying that Nick Saban got her a job at the school. That's why he went there. Like, the mom even tried to play him and say that he only did that because of her and she wanted to go there. But, like, he already had he already had his heart set on going to Alabama. Like, that was what he wanted to do. From day one. When he went his junior year to go on a visit, he brought the posters back and they've been hanging in his room. So the mother knew that, right? And the backstory was like the mom came late. She didn't want to come because she knew his decision was going to be. So you knew his decision, and yet you still publicly shitted on what your son wanted to do. And you still were selfish to not give him his 15 minutes of fame. And that's, again, we often see dads who were involved. His father was involved in his life. His father's the one that told him, yo, son, make your own decision. Don't listen to your mom, because if you feel like you don't like it and you want to regret it, you're going to blame her. And you really can't blame her because you listen to her instead of listen to yourself. That's the advice that his dad gave him if you read the articles from back about 2000, I think 8, 9 when this originally happened. But again, father was in his life, separated from his mother, but he moved to go stay with his dad and his stepmom. And again, when you watch the tape, the fuller tape, the stepmom is who gets up and hugs him, reaches over the real mama and hugs her son. Same thing happened. It was less dramatic with the other son, but it's so to tell you, we're two of your boys who you were the mom of the practices, the football, all that stuff, couldn't do both sons because they had to play. One was in Cali and one was in New Orleans, so that was clearly a struggle to try to see both of them play or whatever. But you did the best you could do. But in their moment of fame, in their biggest moment at their lives at that point in time, you chose to be selfish and shit on them. And when men point out, like, that's not cool, that's not good, women tend to really minimize it. And I haven't really saw too much commentary from women about what happened with the brother who voted independently, which I think that if most black men did vote, they would vote independently, period. All the black men you see in the industry, hip hop, whatever, they're all independents, but for whatever reason they tend to promote that Democratic plantation, whatever. But they've all said themselves that they're independent. Ebro bitch ass said he was independent. Killer Mike said he was. Charlamagne tried to say he was, and then Angela Rye, his mommy, because the matriarchy is real, the gynocracy said, no, you're not. So all these black men have admitted and pointed out, said like, yo, I'm independent, but I do this X, Y, Z. In New York, you can't vote on a Democratic primary if you're registered independent. So that was Charlamagne's excuse for whatever. But I haven't seen a lot of commentary about that, and I should go post that in some groups just to get the feedback. But I already know what's going to happen. Women are going to minimize because they agree with what she did. They think that she wasn't in the wrong for what she's doing. But I just wanted to come back and point that out in this clip. This video was supposed to be no commentary, but in that situation, the first one. The second one wasn't even that bad. His brother, you know, same thing. He was just like, yo, I'm going where I want to go. I'm making my own decision. And the mom took his moment to do that. And we remember Pink Elephant talking about how we over credit women sometimes. We never act like the dad isn't there. And that was the main reason why I wanted to do the video, because his father was there. His father was in his lap. And his father was the one that gave him the advice to make his own decision in picking a school and not listen to his mother, because he would have resentment towards her if it didn't work out the way. And if he hadn't gone, he wouldn't have had a national championship probably. But yeah. Mom hugs him, girlfriend kisses him or whatever, family happy, but the mom promotes the school that you know she knew, okay? And then the crazy thing, after this happened, she didn't talk to her son for a whole, I think, 2 days. Like, the reporters came to him to follow up, and they went to her house and was in front of the house with the camera and all that, and he was on the phone. He's like, yo, I ain't talked to my mom in like 2-3 days, whatever. So she clearly overreacted to his decision, which she already knew he was going to make. But we see again, when we have these discussions publicly and bring them to the rest of the culture, women tend to minimize when we say and point out to these things, like examples, and say, hey, y'all be doing too much, y'all be disrespectful, y'all be emasculating your sons, then y'all wonder why they can't lead, they can't do this, they can't do that, because you raised them to be that way. And how many men, you know, just to make the women feel good or feel comfortable, or they vote outside their own interests. Like, how many boys would have been different than that boy in the car and just freaking, I'm going to vote Democrats because. And not say like, no, I don't subscribe to this. I don't subscribe to that. I don't like Trump or Biden. I'm going to do this. I'm going to vote third party. Or I'm going to vote for Kanye. Whoever he chooses to vote for, I don't know. Don't matter. It's not the point. The point is he made his own decision. And now, because of that mother's overreaction, over-emotionalism, and not even understand how politics works, right? That's that slave. Again, we don't like people saying plantation, but that's what that shit is. If you think that him voting third party means that that's a vote taken towards Trump, like that's how dumb you are, and you don't understand the political process. No party owns either person's vote. That's their decision, that individual right. And I'm going to do another video where I break down why I didn't vote in my first 2 elections, because similar to that situation, wasn't no family members, but it was 2 older black women. It was just bickering. It was like around 9/11. I was one of the few people who was old enough to register to vote. And they didn't, again, it wasn't telling me who to vote for, but it was that bickering and yelling and just being annoying. And I was like, let me figure this shit out. Let me do what I want to do when I get ready to do it. Like, none of that shit, like the stuff that they do in the media and the shaming tactics and then you going to get canceled from the party, that shit just made me say, fuck you. Like, it don't make me want to comply. It was like, that's not my personality. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to vote until I figure out what I want to do. And I'll break that down in a different video, how that whole situation played out. But I just wanted to tap on this situation again. In that moment, right, what she did was wrong beyond anything else. Then she knew where he wanted to go. She just had a attention time that both her sons went to schools to get the fuck away from her at the end of the day. All right, I'm out.